Hey, good afternoon, everyone. I just want to take a few moments of your time to quickly recap what we did in class today and to also review the assignment that is due Monday. So just quickly, let me just go over what we did in class today. This will be beneficial if you were absent, so you won't fall behind. And then this is really, it'll also be beneficial if you were in class today because it'll just reinforce what we discussed. And so that is the first thing. Remember that I decided to change the word count because I realized, you know what, 2,000 words, that's kind of a jerky move. So I lowered it to 1,500 words. And that was the first thing. That was really important. And then the next thing was we worked on the juvenile reentry reading, just coming to a better understanding of that. And so if you weren't in class today, do be sure you get notes from a peer on that, because that will help you with not only the literature review, but that'll also help you with the just writing your essay as well, your body paragraphs. So now the next thing we discussed was we looked at the juvenile reentry article, which is itself a literature review, and we talked about what were some of the characteristics or what were some of the components of the literature review, and these were the three things. Really, there were four things that we came up with. Now that I think about it, and that was we noticed that the literature review, it addresses a problem or an issue. In this case, it was the issue of what are the best practices for helping juvenile offenders reintegrate or reenter society. And there's no thesis or opinion. So if you read that article, you'll see that the authors, they have no opinion at all. Okay. Rather, they're just presenting you really with all of the research. And so they're showing you with the pros, what are some best practices that are positive, that help juveniles successfully reenter into society. And they also look at the cons. What are some practices that really don't help juveniles successfully reintegrate? So there's no thesis, okay? And then we also notice that it summarizes the research. And so what it'll do is it mostly paraphrases. And then it rarely quotes. In fact, I think there were like one or two quotes. And then it also identifies for each source what's the conclusion or the solution of that source. And then the last thing we noticed was that the summaries the summaries, we'll just say that they're arranged by subtopics. So you'll notice when you look through it that there are a number of topics. So it's not just one big paragraph. And so now if this part here looks familiar, that's because it should. This is what we've been doing all semester when we've been writing those 4 to 7 sentence summary paragraphs. And really when you write your lit review, what you'll do is you're just going to take those 4 to 7 sentence summary paragraphs and you're going to shrink it to where for each reading, it's going to be about 3 sentences. Really, it should be 3 sentences. First sentence, paraphrase the thesis, include the tag. Second sentence, just quote it, include some of those keywords. Third sentence, identify what's their solution or what's the conclusion they come to, okay? Now, let's look at, the next thing we did in class was we started to brainstorm, okay, so what's our lit review going to look like? And we decided, you know what, when we look at the essay prompt, well, one, we noticed that Dr. Kranzman does not want the lit review to be one paragraph. He likes it to be more than one paragraph. And so we looked through this and said, hey, what are the 3 topics, or what are the topics this essay is asking us to address? We realized it's these 3 things. So what I would do is what we decided was we should have 3 paragraphs. This is the topic of paragraph 1 in my lit review, paragraph 2 in my lit review, paragraph 3 in my lit review. And broadly, these are the readings that will go in paragraph 1. So Project Change, which you read for today, summarize that. Inside Out program, which is also True Notebooks, you'd summarize that. And then the source that I asked you to bring in for Monday, that outside reading program. And again, when you summarize it, each one's going to look like that. So you'll have probably about 9 sentences for this one. 9 sentences for this one. The one other source, that would be the source I asked you to bring in Monday. That might go here. It might go down here, you know. I do want you to use these sources from the semester, though, that we've been reading about masculinity. You might include Pasco in there. You might not. It's really up to you, you know. And then the other sources that you've read from the prompt, and remember, the prompt actually gives you all of your sources, you know. So you just had to find 2 sources. Oh. The rest of those sources are going to go down here. And now again, this other source, that's really depends on what you know, the one you brought in Monday, okay? And so each of these paragraphs, they're probably going to be about, 9 sentences. This one, if this has got 12, it's going to be, or 4, it's going to be about 12. And if you want to write a topic sentence, that's cool. If not, we can work on that Monday. And then the last thing is the homework for Monday is what I want you to do is first read the College and Jail Toolkit. If you were in class today, I gave that to you. If not, the College and Tool Jail Kit, it's this, you know what, I'll email that link to you. And then I also want you to read the Youth Law Center Educational Injustice. However, for that reading, it's like 33 pages, so don't, and I repeat, do not read all of the educational injustice. Only read the sections that are of interest to you. So for instance, you know, you might want to read the introduction. You might be really interested in this idea here, that youth of color, they are disproportionately impacted. That's just a fancy way to say that minority groups, that they have a higher rate of detainment than majority groups, like white youth, for instance. And that was something that a number of you noted today when we looked at that section, that paragraph from juvenile reentry. So you might want to look at that. You might even want to, you just look at whatever interests you. You know, I would definitely look at education's critical to reentry. You might even want to look at this section, okay? But just look at the sections that interest you and then read and annotate that, okay? And then the next thing I want you to do is, after you read those and annotate them, I want you to write your lit review, okay? And so your lit review, it's based on that outline that I just showed you, and you're going to include all of these readings, including Educational Injustice, and the College, oh, come on now, and the College to Jail Toolkit. Now, the last thing I want you to do is read Graff and Berkenstein, either pages 96 to 100 or pages 55 to 66, okay? And then when you look at that, I've heard that you can go to this place where supposedly they have a full copy online, but I don't know if that's true or not. I could get into some trouble if I suggested you do that. So I don't know, it's just something I heard. If you look at the 55 to 66, it'll just kind of outline to you what do we mean by who cares? And then it'll give you some language to write that who cares paragraph, okay? Or you can read pages 55 to 66, okay? And that is the yes, no, okay, but paragraph, okay? And then that one just talks about how do you start to talk about your opinion in relation to a topic. So what if you disagree with the topic that maybe writing programs should, maybe you say writing programs should not be in juvenile hall. Well, this will help you be able to articulate that. If you're like, yeah, they should be, this will help you articulate that. If you're like, yeah, they should be, but this will help you with that, okay? And again, this gives you, it talks about the importance of how to stress what you want to say, not what they say in research, which can be hard. And then it gives you some language to do that. Personally, what I would do is, this may look like more reading. I would probably start here. So I would probably read these pages, and then I would write my yes, no, okay, but paragraph. Because that's really going to be the start of your opinion, okay? And so read those 3 readings and annotate, write your lit review, those 3 paragraphs. You've actually already got them because you have 4 to 7 sentence summaries for all of these readings, okay? You might not have one for the mask you live in, which is on Canopy on Canvas. But you should have summaries for all of these readings. You're going to write these this weekend, okay? So you've already done the bulk of this. You're really just revising it, okay? That's why I don't feel bad asking you to write 4 paragraphs. Then I would probably write this paragraph, because that's really going to get me started with my opinion, okay? So bring 4 paragraphs to class Monday. Just have an electronic copy. I'm going to get us a computer lab. And we can just bring it up, and I have some activities to help you, okay? Now, if you want to be a little overachiever, you could write really both your so what and your yes, no, okay, but. So eventually you got to write both, okay? Whew, that was a lot. So that's really it. Let me know if you have any questions or concerns, and I'll see you Thursday. I'll see you Monday. I know this is a special weekend for some people, so if this week and this weekend if it is of significance to you, then I hope you have a special weekend. It's also just going to be a beautiful weekend, so if this is not a weekend of special significance to you, rock and roll, have a good time, okay? Be sure to complete this work, and if you weren't in class today, I do hope to see you Monday, okay? Let me know if you have questions or concerns, and see you later.